Yo, 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 King Earner live and direct. Responding to the DMs and the emails I'm getting in reference to Troy Ave and him being a snitch or whatever the case may be, I'm going to say this 100%. You don't have to beat or drill that into his head. I believe he understands and knows this. I believe that he has embraced him becoming an individual that's going to be standing on that stand pointing at whoever he's going to be pointing at. My thing is that all of them understand. It just gets different, you know. In his situation, he was shot and arrested, you know. For some individuals that ain't 100% solid, it's hard for them to do that. The reason why it's hard for them to kind of stay strong and, you know, keep their mouth shut is because it never was in them from the beginning. So you got to realize the individual that does that, you know, that becomes a person who tells on an individual that they're involved in a crime with is an individual who had that in their heart. It's not something that come overnight. It can't be. You know, I mean, I can't really speak from a rap point of view, but I can speak from a man point of view. It's the most disgusting thing that I have ever heard of. When I hear it to my ears, it runs chills to my body because ain't no way you're going to tell me you're of honor if you're doing that. I mean, it's not fair. How is it fair for me to get with an individual, do crime, or claim crime, I'm going to shoot him up, bang, bang, boy, but as soon as I get in trouble, you know, I tell. That's the worst kind. That's the most vicious kind of individual. That individual is to be watched, and that individual is not to be, you know, played with because they have an agenda. And once they see that they can do it and get away with it, and they look at the individuals prior to them that have already told and nothing have happened to them, they go harder. The world has changed, people. And guess what? I got to understand enough. You got to stay away from them kind. You can't even be around them kind. When you go near them kind, you're putting yourself in jeopardy to, you know, anything happening. You never know what they've done. You never know what back door they came out of. You never know what back door they climbed in or jumped through because they're the sneakiest kind of individuals you can ever run into. Troy Ave has the understanding of street life. Troy Ave, you can tell, had a time in his life that he ran the streets. Probably all of it. But you got to realize they gave that man a chance to come home and enjoy some of the things he already had. Some of his money that he just got, some of his success. Now he's never going to let that go, and he's going to do whatever he has to do on that stand, and that's what he's going to tell people. I had to do what I had to do. That's most of them, that's their biggest excuse. They're going to say that the streets failed them. I can't say the streets failed me. I'm going to say I failed myself because at the end of the day, I didn't have to choose the streets, you see? You got to get an understanding of this. A lot of them don't make any sense. No one asks you to be this shoot 'em up, bang, bang, tough guy. You don't have to walk in these clubs and be the man. Once you start getting some money, you know, you start relaxing, and you can see all the big guys, the ones who's in the industry that's getting some real money, they don't be out like that. The only one that really get active like that, you can see it from a standpoint, is 50 Cent. He always around, but he's always secure, and he always has his own strength. And that's what a lot of these men don't have. And it's not that I'm, you know, pretty much going towards of saying, oh, I'm a 50 fan, but I respect the earn, you dig? You know, a lot of people can't, you know, earn like that. A lot of people are not good earners. So at the end of the day, brothers like Troy Ave got to, like, stay in his place. You know what a rat do, homie? You already know what it is with a rat. Fall back and don't get yourself involved in anything that got to do with real men. Because when you do, you being a rat is always going to come up and you have to defend it. And I don't understand how can you defend it. But that's what ends up happening. These rats come up with all type of ideology and theories of what's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be when you knew what it wasn't supposed to be. But you told anyway. Yes, you got with some individuals and y'all decided to do a crime. And you said once you guys got caught, I'm going to tell and I'm going to go home. But come on, man. We hear it in the music every day. We hear dudes talk this shoot 'em up, bang, bang talk. And now we got social media. A lot of these dudes is being exposed and put on blast. I have to be truthful in my heart when I speak on messages and things like this, because at the end of the day, I lived that life before. And when I lived that life, I seen so many individuals that was the toughest dude become a rat. This is what they want to do. This is their goal. Because they say, damn, some of them might have been working, 9 to 5 and getting some money doing that, and said, I'm hearing that if you tell, you don't got to do a day in jail. So them people stop doing the 9 to 5 and they start getting involved in coke, and they mess the game up. Because it's individuals like the guy Alpo who influences this. He influences this negativity amongst the people. He is one of the pioneers of making a rat be cool, because before he ever could be cool, no one really knew who he was. So when they came out with that movie, The Game is Over, a documentary, and the movie Paid in Full, they gave people the different look. Like, this guy was the one that was putting stuff down. He was the one that was doing all the negativity. He was the flamboyant one with the robes. They wanted to be just like him, and they built a relationship with his character so well. They built a relationship with him through his character so well that they couldn't detach themselves when they found out that Rico, who was Alpo, was a rat. Ain't that sad? They actually took their time. Listen to me. This is what individuals do. Got themselves connected to a character, right? And once they found that character wasn't who he portrayed himself on the movie or the documentary, they lost it. Before the movie was over, they was already attached to him. People wanted to be just like Alpo. Then you had people who wanted to be like Rich. I can't lie, coming up and after seeing that, I felt like me and Rich had the same type of aura. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, all of that is movie. After the movie go off, it doesn't play no more in my head. It's all over with. It's a joke. It's entertainment. But just so happened this entertainment was true. So you got the Troy Avs who's going to get with Alpo. They're going to kick it. They all swing together. They're going to make excuses for one another. They're going to say, we're not dealing drugs. We're only dealing business and really industry. So I don't have to worry about me dealing with him causing me to go to jail. But you do. An individual like that, they love the streets more than anybody. They're the ones that go after everything they got to do with the streets. They always, listen to me, they're always going that route because they have no other way to go. They're sneaky individuals. You'll find out they move slow. Some of them are cat burglars. Some of them have the audacity, man, to judge other individuals on their everyday life when they got the worst life, because for every day that a person is in jail and you done that crime with that person, that family of that person is missing them. And guess what? You don't even care. You'll go home and go to bed and you were a part of it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how the government is really getting away with it, really. It's recycling crime. I mean, we ain't going to go into that. But Troy Ave, come forth, you, Alpo, the rest of y'all, and I feel as though that y'all should actually take time out. Listen, take time out, right? Get together and see how y'all can form a program where y'all go to schools and y'all go to people and y'all let them know, listen, I'm so-and-so, I'm a rat, and if you get into trouble, if you don't go to school, you will become a rat. I don't want none of y'all to speak up the truth to these kids. That way, the ones that follow you won't follow you, and they'll be like, let's do something that King Garner is saying. Let's do something that Mitchell Chance is saying. Let's do something that Mike the Motivator is saying. Let's do something of good. Let's not sit around here and pump fake and act like what happened, how you told on your friends, how you got on the stand against the ones that you loved, your mother, your father, your family members. for a crime you pulled them in. Think about that. A mother got a home. Son selling drugs out the house. Money start coming. Mom see it, but turn her back on it. Then that house get raided. And the son tells on the mother and get the mother a bunch of years. And the mother just was living there. And you can't tell me that the government is not going to accept what he's saying is truth and won't take his testimony and lock her up and let him go. All because they know he's more capable to do more crime than her. So he is their star witness. Because guess what? He'll perform every chance he get. Every time he commit a crime, he'll perform. Every time he kills somebody, he'll perform. You got to realize the government has at a time let individuals get away with murder just because they was on their payroll. And y'all got to stop being asleep. See, you want to be woke about everything that has to do with black? Well, understand your people 100% and understand what's going on with us. A lot of people that are becoming successful that is black is still being targeted because they was not always legal. So they target them and make them to be the bad one. They don't care about their community, their parents in their home, never teaching them nothing else outside of what was going on in their community. School was education, that's one thing. But after school, them children had to go back into that environment where they barely would eat. Where the black women, when they was even getting their degrees, they still couldn't sit amongst the white people. They still couldn't get that position, that job, so they still was underpaid. So you had a woman taking care of a whole family. Somebody had to step up. Somebody had to come forth and be a man. And that's what happened with a lot of our black men. We got caught up in the game. We got trapped for real. We cannot, I repeat, we cannot continue to be trapped by what our past had to offer. We have to begin to embrace who we are as men. If we're going to say we're kings, kings lived legally. And the ones they didn't, the kingdom didn't last that well. So all the Troyades, all the outposts, all them guys, they can do what they done. And they're going to continue to walk around. But guess what we got to do? Allow them to know in a respectful, nicely way. Don't kill them. Don't pull no gun out and kill them. Oh, my goodness, you're going to jail. That would be the most stupidest thing to do. Don't ever do that. It's not in these times. The purpose is not here. They will send you away forever, and them rats will laugh at you, and the family and the other rats will say, they'll make an example out of you and say, you know what? That guy, he killed one of them rats. Look, he got life. That's not what it's about. Beat them with success. Stay away from them. Don't join in their game anymore. While they play their game, going to jail, doing what they do, they come home, they're selling drugs. You take a low stance with a whole lot of humbleness with it. And you sit back and you get your legal money and you laugh because guess what? You chose the road, the straight path of honor. Nobody can take that from you. That's written in your heart. It's not written on a wall. It's not written on a piece of paper. It's not a reward or it's nothing like that you wear for combat or any of that. It's written in your heart that your honor stood still and it stood up tall in times when you may not have been wrong, huh? Yeah, it's probably been times you ain't been wrong, but you still stood up tall. You know, you catch the case and you know you had nothing to do with it, and they putting this on you and that on you. You know you didn't do it. And all they want you to do is point and just say, anybody done it? And you like, you know what, I'm going to trial, and then you go lose. You're a man, because guess what? You stood on your principles. You didn't go against your principles, and guess what you done? You gave it back in the appeal. And when you came home, and the individual that you knew that done that crime, you shake his hand and you say, thank you. You know why? You taught me strength, and you taught me how to stay away from individuals like you. Let's start bossing up, people. Let's get it together, man. Listen to me, man. You know, some dudes say, man, it's about leveling up, but a lot of us got to get around the obstacles first before we even begin to think about leveling up. We're worried about Starbucks when we won't even support our own kind. I guarantee you it's still more, if you do the ratio, it's still more black people going to Starbucks before they go to any type of black-owned coffee shop. Ain't that something? Even them going to a foreigner, they won't do it. They'll rather spend their money with the enemy. They'll rather spend their money with the ones that go against our people. Stop accepting them then. If you don't want to be hurt, I found that out the long, hard way. I accepted some good people in. And you know what? Because of my color of my skin, at the end of the day, I still wasn't loved and accepted by them. They didn't understand my strength. They didn't understand my goals. They didn't understand that I really lived a life of pain that I caused on myself. They don't understand that I lost my whole immediate family, my grandparents. My grandfather's still living, but I lost my other grandparents. I lost my aunts. I lost the ones that stuck by me strong, that held over top of me a blanket of love. I'm an individual that have a mother that I haven't sat down with in years, only because her addiction to drugs, but I still love her from a distance. You have to become a man and start forgiving people for the things they've done. And the ones that tell on you, you know how you get them back? By staying away from them and being successful and showing them that you can be somebody in life. Don't worry about your Troy Abs and your outposts, man. Don't worry about them individuals. You know why? You're going to lose focus on you, on self. When I put these videos up about these men, it's not because I'm stalking them or care about them. I'm doing it because at the end of the day, they are looked at as the role models. So if I was talking about something good and I was speaking on role models, I would say Jay-Z, hell of a role model, DJ Khaled, all these guys, Gucci Mane, all these dudes are role models to the young guys to look up to. And them guys, Troy Ave, outpouring them, they are who the children look up to as rats. They are the king of that position that they hold. My thing is that if they're going to be of honor, stop sugarcoating what you are. Alpo, don't sugarcoat who you are. AZ Fazion, don't sugarcoat who you are. Don't do it. Troy Ave, don't do it. If you got any type of honor or thoroughness in your heart, you're going to say, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm telling the youngins, don't do that. They tell them, man. Let them know that they don't got to do that. That they can choose a positive life and not worried about nobody telling them to tell on somebody about a crime that they commit together. So trifling, man. I'm King Erner from the Honor Your Life campaign. I want for all of us in the community to understand that an individual who shows his stripes, cool, see it, it's there. Ray Charles glasses. An individual who don't show his stripes is the worst kind. Get out the game as soon as possible. Make the days re-up, your last re-up, man. King Erner live and direct.